It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. It's 3 a.m., the house is quiet, and you are trying to sleep, but you can't. Your mind is replaying a conversation from earlier that day. Did you say the wrong thing? Did they misinterpret your tone? Why did they look at you like that? You feel a tightness in your chest, a heavy, suffocating pressure. This is the invisible cage. We live in the land of the free, yet most of us are prisoners. We are slaves to the thoughts of neighbors, the judgments of coworkers, and the fleeting opinions of strangers on the internet. You have built a life based on what you think others expect of you, rather than what you actually want. You are exhausting yourself trying to manage a reputation that exists only in other people's heads. But what if you could just turn it off? What if you could walk into a room, speak your truth, and remain completely unshakable, regardless of the reaction? In the next 20 minutes, we are going to break this cage. We are not just going to talk about why you shouldn't care. We are going to give you the specific, practical Stoic mind hacks to actually stop doing it. We will explore the ancient psychological tools that have empowered leaders for 2,000 years. If you are ready to reclaim your mind and walk the path of true freedom, click subscribe to join the Timeless Wisdom official community. Let us begin.
Section 1. The Diagnosis. Why we are addicted to approval. The biological trap. To defeat an enemy, you must first understand it. Why does a strange look from a cashier or a passive-aggressive email from a boss feel like a physical attack? Why does the fear of public speaking trigger the same biological response as being chased by a predator? The answer lies in your DNA. For 99% of human history, we lived in small tribes of maybe 50 to 100 people. In that environment, social standing was not a vanity metric. It was a survival mechanism. If the tribe disapproved of you, they might exile you. And in the ancient wilderness, exile meant death. Your brain evolved a highly sensitive alarm system to detect disapproval because, for your ancestors, caring what others thought kept them alive. But you do not live in a tribe anymore. You live in a modern, hyper-connected world. Today, if someone unfollows you, or a stranger judges your outfit, or a colleague disagrees with your presentation, you will not die. You will not starve. You will still have a roof over your head. However, your brain hasn't received the software update. It treats a downvote or a smirk as a life or death threat. You are operating with Stone Age hardware in the digital age. This mismatch is the root of your anxiety. You are suffering because you are mistaking social discomfort for actual danger. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus made a profound distinction that is crucial here. He said, "Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems." The pain of judgment is a biological reflex, but the suffering you build around it is a choice. You cannot control the initial instinct to fit in, but you can control whether you let that instinct run your life. The spotlight effect. Let's look at another reason you are trapped. The spotlight effect. Most of us walk through life feeling like we are the lead actor in a high-budget movie. We believe the camera is always focused on us. We think everyone is analyzing our every move, critiquing our career choices, and noticing that small stain on our shirt. Here is the liberating truth. They aren't. Everyone else is the lead actor in their own movie. To them, you are just an extra in the background. Think about it. How much time do you spend analyzing the awkward thing your coworker said 3 days ago? Probably 0 seconds. You are too busy worrying about your own problems. Well, guess what? They are doing the exact same thing. Seneca, the great Stoic statesman, warned us that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. We construct elaborate fantasies where the whole world is judging us, when in reality, the world is mostly ignoring us. This might sound harsh, but it is actually the greatest freedom you can find. You are not the center of the universe. People are too self-absorbed to judge you as harshly as you judge yourself. Once you truly internalize this, the weight lifts off your shoulders. You realize you have been performing for an empty theater. Section 2. The core philosophy. The dichotomy of control. Internal versus external. The Stoic fork. Now that we understand the biology and the psychology, let's apply the philosophy. The foundation of all Stoicism, the single most important tool you will ever learn, is the dichotomy of control. Epictetus opens his handbook with this rule. Some things are within our power, while others are not. It sounds simple, almost too simple. But look at how look at how you live your life. We spend 90% of our energy trying to control things that are not up to us. What is not up to you? Your reputation. What people say about you behind your back. Whether you get the promotion. Whether your video goes viral. Whether someone likes you. What is up to you? Your character, your values, your own actions, and most importantly, your judgment of the events around you. The Stoics tell us that anxiety is created in the gap between what we want to control and what we can actually control. When you tie your self-worth to something external, like your boss's approval or your neighbor's opinion, you are handing them the keys to your happiness. You are making yourself a slave. Think of an archer shooting an arrow. This is a classic Stoic metaphor. The archer can control his stance, his focus, the tension in the bow, and the moment he releases the string. All of that is internal. It is up to him. But the moment the arrow leaves the bow, he has no control. A sudden gust of wind could blow it off course. The target could move. If the archer's happiness depends solely on hitting the bullseye, he will be anxious and fragile. But if his happiness comes from knowing he shot the arrow with perfect form and did his best, he is invincible. The result does not belong to him, the effort does. In your life, stop trying to control the reflection in the mirror, which is what people see. Focus on the object, which is who you actually are. When you shift your focus from "how do I look" to "am I acting with virtue," the fear of judgment evaporates. You become self-sufficient, the despised judge. Let's go deeper into this dichotomy of control. We often fail to apply it because we overestimate the people doing the judging. We treat their opinions as if they were the word of God. But here is an advanced Stoic technique that Marcus Aurelius used when he felt the pressure of the Roman court. He asked himself, "Who are these people whose admiration I seek?" He would look at their souls. He would look at their habits, their hidden vices, their anxieties, and their petty argument. He realized that the people judging him were not happy. They were not wise. They were just as confused, scared, and flawed as anyone else. Ask yourself this question right now. Think of the specific person whose judgment you fear. Maybe it is a hypercritical parent, a competitive coworker, or just the cool crowd on social media. Now ask yourself, would I trade lives with this person? Do I admire their character? If you were in a crisis, would you go to them for wisdom? If the answer is no, and it almost always is, then why on earth do you value their criticism? It is madness to seek the admiration of people you do not even respect. If you wouldn't ask them for advice on how to live, their opinion on how you live is mathematically irrelevant. You are letting someone who can't even run their own life dictate yours. Stop giving them that power. Their judgment is a reflection of their own internal state, not your reality. Section 3. Practical application. How to stop caring, step by step. Theory is useless without practice. Stoicism is not a parlor game for intellectuals. It is a weapon for the real world. So, how do we actually rewire the brain to stop caring? How do we delete the social anxiety program? Here are 3 timeless exercises. Step 1. The view from above. The first tool is about perspective. The Stoics called it the view from above. When you are worried about what people think, it is because you are zoomed in too close. You are looking at your life through a microscope. In that tiny view, an awkward comment during a meeting looks like a catastrophe. A rejection feels like the end of the world. I want you to try this mental exercise with me. Close your eyes for a moment if you can. Visualize yourself sitting where you are right now. Now, pull the camera back. See your house from the sky. See your city, the grid of streets, the thousands of cars, the millions of people rushing around, all worried about their own tiny problems. Pull back further. See the whole United States. See the Earth, a blue marble hanging in the vast, infinite blackness of space. Now add time. Think of the billions of humans who lived before you. Think of the billions who will live after you. Think of all the kings and queens who were obsessed with their fame, whose names are now completely forgotten, buried under the sands of time. In this cosmic context, how big is that embarrassed feeling you had yesterday? How significant is the opinion of your neighbor? It is dust. It is nothing. This isn't meant to make you feel worthless. It is meant to make you feel free. When you realize how small we all are, the pressure evaporates. The universe is too big for you to spend your limited time worrying about a temporary awkwardness. You are here for a blink of an eye. Do not waste that blink worrying about the applause of ghosts. Step 2. Negative visualization, premeditatio malorum. The second tool is counterintuitive. It is called premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. Modern positive thinking tells you to hope for the best and visualize success. Stoicism says that is dangerous. When you only hope for the best, you are fragile. You are terrified that things might go wrong. Instead, the Stoic leans into the fear. You are afraid of what people think? Okay, let's go there. What is the absolute worst-case scenario? Let's say you want to start a business or post a video online, but you are afraid of being judged. Visualize the worst outcome. Imagine you post the video. Imagine people leave mean comments. Imagine your friends from high school see it and laugh. Imagine you fail publicly. Sit with that image. Feel the heat of the shame. And then ask yourself, and then what? Will the sun still rise tomorrow? Yes. Will you still have your family? Yes. Will you still be able to breathe, to eat, to think? Yes. Will you die? No. By visualizing the worst, you realize that the monster under the bed is just a shadow. You realize that social rejection is uncomfortable, but it is not fatal. You can handle it. Once you accept the worst-case scenario, you strip it of its power over you. You become invincible because you have already faced the dragon in your mind and survived. Step 3. Voluntary discomfort, the exposure therapy. The third tool is the most practical, but it requires courage. It is voluntary discomfort. Cato the Younger, a Stoic hero who inspired George Washington, used to walk around Rome in strange, mismatched clothing. He didn't do it because he had bad fashion sense. He did it on purpose. He wanted people to stare. He wanted them to whisper. He wanted to feel the heat of their judgment. Why? He was training his mind. He was callousing his soul against shame. He was teaching himself, see? They are laughing, and I am not hurt. I am still Cato. You can do this today. You don't need to wear a toga. But you can do small things to break your addiction to approval. Next time you are at a coffee shop, ask for a 10% discount just because. They will say no. It will be awkward. Everyone in line will look at you. Good. That awkwardness is your gym. Wear a shirt that you love but you know others might find too bold. Speak up in a meeting with a question you think might sound dumb. Every time you survive a moment of social disapproval, you are rewriting your brain's coding. You are proving to your nervous system that other people's opinions cannot physically harm you. The more you do this, the quieter the world gets. You stop asking what will they think, and start asking what do I think? Section 4. The Modern Warrior. Stoicism in the 21st Century. Career and Ambition. Let's bring this into the office, the boardroom, and your career. This is where the fear of judgment often costs us the most money and the most opportunities. In the American workplace, we are taught to play politics. We are taught that perception is reality. You might hold back your best ideas because you don't want to step on toes. You might avoid asking for a raise because you don't want to seem greedy. You are paralyzed by the potential thoughts of your boss or your colleague. The Stoic approach to career is radical. Do the work for the sake of the work, not the applause. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself constantly that ambition for fame is vanity. When you focus on the outcome, the promotion, the praise, the award, you are anxious. You are future tripping. But when you focus on the process, doing an excellent job, solving the problem, acting with integrity, you are present. You are powerful. Treat criticism at work simply as data. If your boss criticizes you, remove the emotion. Ask, is this true? If it is true, accept it, learn from it, and improve. It is not an attack on your soul. It is just information, like a software bug report. If it is false, if it is driven by their own stress or bias, then ignore it. It is noise. When you stop working for validation and start working for excellence, a strange paradox happens. People respect you more. They sense that you are not desperate for their approval. In a world of people-pleasers, the person who doesn't need to be liked is the one who ends up being followed. Relationships and boundaries. This philosophy saves your relationships too. How many times have you said yes when you wanted to say no? You agree to go to a party you hate. You agree to take on a project you don't have time for. You let a friend make a rude joke without correcting them. Why? Because you are afraid of the conflict. You are afraid they might think you are difficult or uncool. Here is the hard Stoic truth. When you say yes to others out of fear, you are saying no to your own integrity. You are betraying yourself to please someone else. Not caring doesn't mean being cold or indifferent to the people you love. It means being authentic. It means your boundaries are solid walls, not suggestions. When you stop worrying about being liked, you can finally be real. Real relationships are built on respect, not conformity. If you have to perform a fake version of yourself to keep a friend, that is not a friendship. It is an acting gig. And it is time to quit the role. The transformation, the unshakable self. Imagine who you could be a year from now if you apply these principles every single day. Imagine walking into a room and not scanning the faces for approval. Imagine posting your art, your writing, or your business ideas online and hitting publish without a second of hesitation. Imagine hearing a criticism and feeling nothing but curiosity. You would be dangerous. You would be unstoppable. This version of you is not a fantasy. It is your birthright. It is the person you were before the world taught you to be small. The cage of other people's opinions is not locked. It never was. You have been holding the key the entire time. The ancient Stoics didn't promise a life without trouble. They didn't promise that everyone would love you. They promised something better. They promised that you wouldn't need everyone to love you. They promised that you could find a fortress of peace inside your own mind, a place that no insult, no judgment, and no rejection could ever breach. As Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself on the chaotic frontiers of the empire, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Today, we have traveled a long way. We diagnosed the biological trap that makes us crave validation. We learned the spotlight effect and realized the world isn't watching us. We picked up the ultimate weapon, the dichotomy of control, to separate our character from our reputation. And we learned to zoom out with the view from above. The path is clear. The heavy lifting is done. Now, the walking is up to you. Thank you for investing this time in your own growth. In a world of distractions, your attention is your most valuable asset, and we are deeply honored you chose to spend it here with Timeless Wisdom Official. If this video helped quiet the noise in your mind, even just a little, please subscribe and like this video. It is a small action for you, but it helps us spread these timeless laws to others who are silently struggling with the same anxiety. I want to hear from you in the comments below. Be brave and declare it to the community. What is one specific situation where you need to stop caring about others' opinions? Is it your career? Your creative work? Your relationships? Write it down. Make a commitment to yourself. Let's support each other on this path to freedom. Until next time, stay wise, stay strong, and live your own life.